be agreed to the amendment and closing, Ms Lawton?
Yes, to the amendment and closing. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank members for their in-principle support, and especially thank Mr Gentleman for knowing my intentions better than I did myself, apparently. I understand that there has been a round of grants announced, heritage grants, and they are including a focus on Apollo 11. The intention behind bringing this motion today was to try to ensure that those who've been most involved in the space tracking industry, for example, ex-employees, do not have to apply for grants. You know, we're talking about people in their 80s and 90s. They don't have an organising body. Whilst they have a lot of knowledge, a lot of passion, and a lot of good intentions, they don't necessarily have the ability to complete grant applications. And my intention here was to suggest that the ACT government should be supporting these activities irrespective of grant applications. You know, the people that I've spoken to who are ex-employees, you know, whilst they may have a wish to complete a grant application, sometimes other activities in their life, medical appointments, family members going into care, all sorts of things that happen in our lives, is taking a lot of their time and energy, and whilst they may like to apply for a grant, this might not be feasible for them. So I was just trying to ensure that these people, those who are most involved, most knowledgeable, most interested in ensuring that our history and heritage in this area is protected, have an active and valued role to play in determining the activities associated with the anniversary, rather than leaving it to many others who have, of course, a very valid and passionate interest in the activities, but may not be able to draw on the actual life experience of being there at the time at the Honeysuckle Creek tracking station. So my intention was to ensure that those who are most involved at the time can also be those very involved now in the commemoration of the 50th anniversary, not a bystander to the events that may take place that they may not even be invited to participate in. I appreciate Mr Gentleman's amendment, and we will support the amendment. I'm certainly extremely keen, as are the ex-employees, to ensure that there is some type of public artwork. With the ACT's intention to remain involved in the space tracking industry into the future, this is a way to ensure that our boys and girls can see that this is possible. Even if you live in Canberra, you can be deeply involved in this technological advance. You know, for many, many decades, we've seen boys and girls with an aspiration to become an astronaut or to work in the space industry in some way, and it's entirely feasible that this could take place, and having some type of public artwork or monument in a very accessible area of the ACT would be a way to encourage that. Some people question occasionally the benefit of being involved in space exploration. But what you may not know, what some people might not know, is that there are many, many spin-offs, things that have been developed as part of the space exploration industry that we now get the benefit of. They've been developed and invented to fit a particular need in the space exploration industry. But things such as smartphone cameras, freeze-dried food, scratch-resistant lenses, CAT scans, LEDs, foil blankets, the ones we call space blankets, they're called that for a reason, home insulation and water purification systems. There's just a couple of examples. One that's a bit of a myth is that Velcro was invented for the space tracking industry. It was widely used in the space tracking industry, including on the Apollo missions, to affix panels to the outside of the modules, but it was actually invented, I think, in the 30s, well before space tracking industry. And I also believe, it could be a myth, but I believe that superglue was also invented through the space exploration industry, and that's something that's widely used today. So there are many, many things that we benefit from that have been invented throughout that space exploration period from the 60s through to today, and I look forward to that continuing. So thank you again to members. I look forward to hearing more about fantastic commemorative events that recognise the important role that the ACT played in the Apollo 11 moon landings, and look forward to many, many events in and around July of 2019 to recognise the role of the ACT and indeed the very, very important role that many people who are now our senior citizens but who played such a vital role in history, and I hope that they especially enjoy and participate in these events.
Thank you, Ms Lauder. The question is that the motion as amended be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Clerk.